Welcome back. Part 2 of volume of pyramids and cones. So this will be a continuation from part 1. Before you watch or you continue watching part 2, please watch part 1, just so that you can get a better understanding on how to figure out or how to calculate volume of pyramids and cones. So let's continue and go to our next example. So our next example is this particular cone. Now, with this particular cone, we've got given the radius and we've got given the slant height, right? Now, in this case, it's the other way around compared to surface area of a cone where we needed the slant height or the slant length. In this case, we actually need to figure out in volume of cone a perpendicular height, right? So again, our best friend at the moment would be Pythagoras theorem. As you can see, I have drawn out this diagram at the same time, given a little hint that this kind of looks like a right angle triangle. So I'm going to use Pythagoras theorem once again to figure out what the perpendicular height would be of this cone. Again, one strategy is draw that right angle triangle to the side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to label my radius is 6 centimeters and my hypotenuse is, I would say, 10 centimeters. And what I need to find out is my perpendicular height. So let's call this h. Now, figuring it out, I've written down the Pythagoras theorem again. If we do not know, if we don't remember, c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Now, what I needed to figure out is what is h, right? What is h is basically a squared, right? So this is a, this is c, and this is b. So before I even start going and moving on, I'm going to rearrange my formula, right? Now, how I'm going to rearrange my formula, making sure that a squared equals to something, right? For a squared to be by itself, I need to get rid of b squared. What is the opposite of a positive b squared? It's a negative b squared. So I need to do that on both sides, which will get me to c squared minus b squared, right? This is now me rearranging my formula. And so let us begin. Figuring out what our perpendicular height is. I've written here, if you haven't noticed from the beginning of the video, the rearrange of the formula. A squared equals c squared minus b squared. Now let's substitute in what is a squared. A squared, I said from my triangle, was h. So let's write down h squared equals, my c is 10. So let's substitute 10 as c squared minus b is 6. So let's put that in. Squared, always follow the formula. Now what I need to do is 10 squared is 100. Minus 6 squared is 36. That is equal to h squared. 100 minus 36 is 64. Now, how do I get rid of a squared? Square root. So my answer will be a square root of 64. And that will get me to h being 8 centimeters. Again, I'm going to box it again, just so that I know that this is my h. Right, figure out my h, super easy. Now, once I figure out my h, let us now figure out the volume of this cone. So, again, 1/3 is a number, that's fine. Area of the base, the area of the base of a cone is a circle, right? So the area of a circle is pi times r squared times my height that we figured out was 8. Now we need to substitute in what is the radius, which is, we said 6. Substitute 6 in. Right, this is what we will get. Once we got that, put that into the calculator and you should get 301.6 centimeter cube. Okay, I'm going to write down in 1 decimal place. Okay, that is it for our first example. Let's go to our next one. Our next one is, all right, so this is an example of where we're going to now do the reverse. We have given, if we read this question, a square pyramid with volume 380 centimeter cube has height of 8 centimeters. Find the side length of the pyramid of the base. Right. So the side length of the base is basically finding the side of the square, right, in the pyramid. So first off is we are going to substitute our volume, which this part here is important information. It is a square and its height is 8 centimeters. So again, let's do this. Substitute what our volume is, which is 380. 1/3 times the area of the base. We don't know, but we know that it's going to be a square, right? So that means s squared, right? Side times side, times the height, which is 8. That's fine. Now, another way that we can write this is 380 equals to s squared times 8 over 3, right? This will make it easier for us to do. How do I get rid of the 3? Multiply it by 3. This cancels out. 380 times 3 should be 1140, which equals to s squared times 8. And then we need to take away where the 8 is. So we need to divide both sides by 8. This will cancel out. We get s squared equals 142.5. The opposite of squared is a square root. So the square root of 142.5. Okay, put that into your calculator and you should get 11.9. 9 is it? Yeah, centimeters. And I've rounded it to 1 decimal place. So that's it. This is the reverse. This is where we got given the volume and now finding the side or the radius, depending on the question. This is where I'll end the video. So I'll see you next time. Bye.